happen very often, but
Young
the
Tyrrell in the
video
building.
failed second period, so I'm videoing now. So I really need you quiet and attentive.
Tyrrell
Particularly, group of bad children here, I need you to be quiet because you're going to get picked up on that, okay?
I just talked to him.
Who?
It's
You know the actor Paul Rudd?
I don't think so.
Yeah, John has the
In this
best
class,
photo
I'm
out
just
of
saying.
all of the other favorites.
Oh yeah, John's just like him.
It's actually crazy.
It's so weird.
John Rush is going to take his hat off.
John Rush is really a girl. Just kidding.
Got him.
All right, take a look on the back side of note sheet 35. The back side of note sheet 35 has some super important problems on it. But they're problems that you guys are already really good at. So you have this advantage because we have been sprinkling in the hard problems, and you now pretty much know how to do them. Let's go through some of these. We may not need to do every one of them, and we might have you up here on video doing it. But let's start, get warmed up here. We have the sine of 150 degrees. The sine of 150 degrees.
It's going to go around
Now,
like a merry-go-round.
stop and think. You know we start here.
That's 90.
This is 90,
180.
this is 180. So doesn't it make sense that 150 would be between 90 and 180?
Yes, it does.
When you draw your triangle, which you will always do unless you're on an axis, when you draw your triangle, it's part of the butterfly bow tie, so I gotta come down. This angle is the angle from 150 to 180. That's what this angle is, from 150 to 180. So how big is it? 30. You know that across from the 30 is 1. So the other sides are root 3 and 2. You know that because we've done it over and over again. Is anything negative?
Yes, the -3.
The root 3 would have to be negative. It is negative because we are going left. Is the 1 negative? No, because we are going up. Now I want the sine. All I have to do is remember this is the angle. It's always the angle at the origin. So this is the opposite side, and this is the hypotenuse. So the sine is 1/2. Isn't that easy? We know how to do that. Let's look at the next one.
Easier than easy math.
Yep, not using your calculator. So we're doing the tangent of -240. Now, how do I do negative angles? Go the other way. So I'm going to start in the same place, but I'm going the other way. Now, if I go the other way, this is -90, -180, -270. So -240 will be up here. Would you agree with that? Make your butterfly bow tie. This angle, kids, is the important one. And it's the angle between 240 and 180. So how big is it? 60. That's a 60.
So whenever it's negative, you just do
You need to be fine.
How do we know that's a 60?
Because this is 180 and this is 240. So how far is it from 180 to 240? 60. So across from the 60 is root 3, and this is 1, and this is 2. Is anything negative?
The 1.
Now I want the tangent.
Opposite over adjacent.
Opposite over adjacent. So that'll be root 3 over -1, which is negative root 3. Pretty easy. Now C throws in a curveball. What's 5 pi over 4? Okay, Jabria says 225, and she's exactly right. How'd she get 225?
You divide 180 by 4 and then times 5.
180 divided by 4 is 45, and 45 times 5 is
25.
225. So we have a 225-degree angle. So this is 90, 180, 270. 225 is going to be right here. Would you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
This is the important angle. It's always the one inside the triangle at the origin. Megan Berry.
That was asked.
How big is that angle going to be?
Pretty big.
45. Now, for those of you that wonder how Lizzie got 45, or Ellie, why don't I call you Lizzie? How Ellie got 45.
Lizzie McGuire.
She got 45 because she went from 180 to 225. That's 45 extra degrees. The sides are 1, 1, root 2. Anything negative? Both ones. Both ones are negative because we went left and down. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So that's negative 1 over negative 1. The answer to the question is 1. Now, do you feel like you have sort of a handle on that?
Yeah.
Here's what I would like to do.
Wait, there's one thing I don't get. How come I don't get how you're making the compass part of it. How do you know which quadrant it's in? Because on that one, the 90's on the bottom. That one, the 90's
No, 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 no.
That's negative.
This is negative 90s on the bottom.
Yeah, but that's 270 on the bottom on that one.
Okay, because it's positive. If you go this way, you've got...
I said I don't understand
Hey,
that.
Robbie.
All right, leave me alone.
Robbie,
Uh-huh.
if you go this way, this would be 90 degrees. Would you agree with me? If I
Yeah.
go this way? When you go down, it's negative.
Uh-huh.
If you go up, it's positive. So if I go up, this would be 90.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
This would be 180, that would be 270. It depends which direction you're going.
All right,
You
thank you.
always start right there.
You always start here, unless it's one of those problems that's directional where we use a compass.
Oh.
That's different, but otherwise, for all these problems, you always start here.
All right, thanks.
And every quadrant is 90 more degrees. Okay, here's what I'd like to do. I would like to have a volunteer. Okay, Clark, first hand I saw up. I want you to come up, and I want you to be me, and I want you to guide the class
Come on, Clark.
through this problem. You don't have to talk. You have to answer questions if somebody has them.
You can do it, Clark.
Okay, so everybody in the room is doing this problem.
Go, Clark.
We're all doing it. Clark is gonna do it on the board, and then he's gonna answer any questions that we might have. So we're all doing this problem on the board, or on our paper.
I do not know how to do division like that.
All right, he got 135 degrees as his angle.
Oh, I got it.
Not what you got. That's bad, because he's right.
Uh-oh.
Pi divided by 4 is 180 divided by 4, that's 45, and 45 times 3 is 135.
Spaghetti. I'm talking about the one that's like math one.
Girls back on you.
So we got a
What was it?
Okay, now I need Clark to stay up there. He has finished his work. Some of it's kind of small. How many of you have a picture that looks like Clark's with a 45-degree angle? Okay, you are right. Did you label the sides of your triangle like he did, 1, 1, root 2?
Yeah.
Did you make the one on the x-axis negative? Because it's going left. His thought process, I don't know if you can see it or not, his thought process is perfect. He said, I'm doing cosecant. Well, sweetheart, are you sick? Not good for you.
No,
Roots are funny as fuck.
If you need to, I mean, you can go to the office if you really need.
You won't do it, Noel.
No, as long as you're back for economics, we're good. 'Cause I
You won't
need your,
do it.
study guide.
You won't do it.
Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. I don't need to show you. I got someone else's.
Now,
Like it's Julia.
listen,
Government class?
he said the sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So he said that's 1 over root 2, which means the cosecant is root 2 over 1. Perfect. Does anybody have a question about that?
No, can I do the next one?
2 over 5.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, thank you, Clark. You're perfect.
Michael,
Thank you.
you want to do the next one?
Now, I want D
Miss
and
Ford.
F.
Miss Ford, let me do
I need to write your path.
Hey, can I have a?
E and F up on the board. So, are you working together? Okay. You guys are doing a P today.
you F, I love to F.
Let's have some girls. Do I have some girls who do F?
I'll go, Julia.
Okay.
Oh, we're doing F. John Russell, we're
You're
doing
doing F? Oh, you can do F.
Hey, John, stop rapping, I swear.
Okay.
You heard Paul?
I walked into class today, John said. It's really good.
Yes, we are.
No.
Miss Ford, who's doing F?
Wait, do we have it written already? Do we have F?
We already have the
Probably
letter.
heard of him.
Rock, paper, scissors.
No. Hurry up, this whole video. Come on, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Michael, we still, Michael, we got
I
this.
don't like being on camera. I didn't know.
Wait, what'd you draw?
My face on YouTube, the government will find me.
800. Even worse than the shape pictures when they're like half girl. You just don't even ask. You don't follow up a church.
The red sweatshirt.
Oh, every time. The cardinal in the country, he lives in Dallas.
What? Yeah?
Cardinal. John, why didn't you drop the station first on us, bro? He doesn't care about the haters. He literally ships the brush and then Instagram. I don't care what they hate. Everyone's like, why'd you do that? And then the next day you like Instagram, like, I don't go outside because my eyebrows are shaped up.
Tomorrow we have a quiz. And it will be a bigger quiz than we have been having.
How many questions?
The quiz is going to be like the problems you're supposed to be doing right now. So if you are doing other things or you are not practicing like you're supposed to be, you better fix it.
He goes Cardinal Red. We found him on Instagram and I told him like 600 followers.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It just takes a picture. You know, me,
Thanks, Adam.
Young Tim Ross.
Yeah, nice job, Timmy.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for helping me draw the compass.
Yeah.
Whoa, bro, Michael drew the two.
Opposite over adjacent. Root 3 over 1.
Oh, hey, can you change that? Negative.
Oh, Timmy messed up.
No, I didn't.
Timmy messed up.
Hey, bro.
Opposite of that, so it'd be 1 over.
I'm gonna play you in hockey.
Oh, Robbie.
I'm gonna break your other toe.
I'm gonna just come up and I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna be running with the skates on, skating with the skates
One of
on.
you guys are gonna go like
I'm gonna go. That's what I had.
What's the 1 over negative root 3? What's that?
That's what you get until that's guys, I had that right. Because look at that's what you get and then you have to times the root 3 up top.
Opposite over here. Opposite negative root 3 over 1.
I'll shave him at night.
Yeah, so cotangent is adjacent over opposite.
I don't know where you got that from.
Hey, the answer is 1. No,
Oh
negative
my
3 over
God.
1. The answer is negative 3 over 1.
No, it's not.
Yeah, Timmy did it
I
right.
did it right.
Yes, it's so, yeah.
No,
Root
it's
3
negative.
over
It's, hey,
negative
no, Timmy did it wrong.
No, I did it right.
It's 1 over negative root 3
Let's
times
have
Times the top. That's why I got the 1 over. Thank you, Ellie.
Okay,
So it's right now.
Yes.
It's negative, it's root 3 over negative.
What's this, Adam?
I just don't know where you got the 1.
okay. Now,
Do that and then you have to
let's
times
take a look
the.
at problem E.
That's the original thing.
We had to find the
Because you're an
sine of
academic doesn't mean
210.
you're smarter than me.
Yeah, there's a negative.
That's, okay, so here,
That is what.
That's okay. That would be the answer, but you can't have a square on the
Timmy,
bottom.
That's for 10.
Timmy, everybody just stop for a second. Let's go through this and then we'll clear that up, okay? So she had the sine of 210. 210, her angle was 30 degrees. That's from 180 to 210. She labeled the sides of her triangle. She wanted the sine negative 1/2. Beautifully done. This one, they wanted the tangent. You want the tangent of 300? So they drew 300. Now 300 is clear over here in quadrant 4. This is where 300 is. This is 270 and this is 360. So here's my triangle. This angle is from 300 to 360. From 300 to 360, so it's a 60-degree angle. Negative root 3, 1, and 2, perfectly labeled. He wants the cotangent. Cotangent is adjacent over opposite. So he got, right here, 1 over negative root 3. You can't leave it like that, so you multiply the top and the bottom by root 3, and the answer should be root 3 over 3, negative.
Yes, I got it right.
That's the correct answer.
If I was working.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, Jabria.
Why don't you do
Is that right? Robbie, stop.
Because when you build a triangle,
Crumble up your own paper
this
right now.
angle is the one you want. And where are its sides? This side is at 300, this side
Give
is
me
at
whatever you
360. This is not part of the triangle.
Yeah, I don't know why you wanted that so bad.
Apples and oranges, apples and wine. Wait, wait, is that right?
Okay, now, one more thing.
Wait, sorry.
Look at part 6, I guess, number 6.
Right.
I need you paying attention. This will be on tomorrow's quiz also. We've already talked about it. We need to find, thank you to those of you that came up here, by the way. We need to find the sine, cosine, and tangent of these very special angles. Now, when I say very special angles, what is so special about 90 degrees? It's right here. It is on an
So
axis.
specialer.
And we remember that if we are finding the sine, cosine, and tangent of an angle on an axis, we do not draw a triangle. We find the coordinates of this point, and what would the coordinates of that point be? 0, 1. If we let the radius be 1. So we're gonna arbitrarily, that means make it up. We're gonna let the radius be 1, and then x will be 0, and y will be 1. Now we will remember that sine is y over r, cosine is x over r, and tangent is y over x. This is not the first time you've seen that. It's in your notes. Should be. Now to find the answers then, I just make those fractions out of these numbers. So sine is y over r. So that will be 1 over 1 or 1.
There's not.
Cosine is x over r. So that would be 0 over 1, which is 0. Tangent is y over x, which would be 1 over 0, which is
0. You can't sit on the
undefined. That's right, you can't sit on the egg. Undefined.
Timmy really doesn't get the egg.
Suck my egg.
Now, for the next one,
0 productions.
the next one is negative 180. Now I'm going to use the same circle. Where is negative 180? Right here. Boys and girls, negative means go this way, right? So this would be negative 90. This would be negative 180. What are the coordinates of that point?
1, 0.
Not 1, 0.
0, 1.
Negative 1.
Negative
1, 0.
Here's the origin. Negative 1, 0. So for this set of problems, x is negative 1, y is 0, and the radius is 1. And now we're going to do the same thing. Sine is y over r, cosine is x over r, and tangent is y over x.
Showing you right.
So here we go. What's the sine?
Negative 0 over 1.
0 over 1, which I write as 0. What's the cosine? Negative 1 over 1, which I write as negative 1. What's the tangent? 0 over negative 1, which I write as 0.
I got a question for the beginning. When did you choose to use 0 and 1?
I chose to use a radius of 1. Once I pick my radius, if this circle has a radius of 1, that means I'm going out in one I'm going 1 unit out all around, right?
Right.
So that would be 1, 0, this would be 0, 1, and so on. Now, Jack, here's what I want to show you. Let's suppose, and this is good for all of
Or in
you,
your hood.
let's suppose you chose to be different. And you said, I don't want to be like you, Mrs. Ford. I want to use a radius of 7.
Same answer.
Oh my God.
Okay? If we use a radius of 7, let's go back to this problem. If we use we'll do the one we just did. If we use a radius of 7, then this would be negative 7, because we're going out 7, and my r would be 7. Okay. Now, what happens when you put y over r? You still get 0. What happens when you put x over r? You still get negative 1. And when you put y over x, you still get 0. So the moral of the story is, it doesn't matter what radius you use. But I always use 1 because that's the easiest one. You can use whatever radius you want. These answers will be the same for everybody. All right, let's do one more. Uh-oh, 3 pi over 2. What about 3 pi over 2? What's that? 270. Now she did that awfully fast. 3 pi over 2. Pi is 180, divided by 2 is 90, times 3 is 270. She's right. And that angle is right here. What are the coordinates of that point? I kind of got carried away, I gave it away. 0, negative 1. So x is 0, y is negative 1. So tell me about my sign. Michael?
Are we gonna have to memorize the y over r and x over r
Yes.
for tomorrow?
Yes, we actually learned that a few days ago. But yes, you should know that. Okay. Now, Michael, I can show you something. I don't know, I don't want to confuse the issue here. But if I have just one of my normal triangles, you know, one of my butterfly bow tie ones, this is like the x side. It's on the x-axis.
Yeah.
And this is like the y side, going up and down. And if I draw a circle, this is like the radius. Now, cosine, like a cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be x over r.
Okay. Oh.
So they kind of fit together. I mean, it's not like it's brand new.
I didn't know where the letters, like, what they meant. or anything,
Okay,
so
well, does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. So sine would be y over r.
Okay. So, you know what?
Okay, I haven't answered this question yet. What's the sine of 270?
There's a lot of hair in
Negative 1 over 1. Negative 1. What's the cosine of 270?
0.
0. 0 over 1, 0. Good. What's the tan of 270? Undefined. Y over x. Y over x. Undefined. Okay, one more. Where's 0? On my circle here, I'm using the same circle. Where's 0? Right there. What are the coordinates at 0?
1, 0.
1, 0. So now I have x equal 1, y equals 0. Okay, what's the sine of 0?
0.
0.
Dang, I got a 3 too.
What's the cosine of 0?
1.
And the tangent of 0. All right, now we have one more thing to do. This will not be on the quiz tomorrow. Okay, what we're getting ready to start will not be on the quiz tomorrow.
What are we riding on to?
Tuesday morning before school.
This one.
If you are not here tomorrow for some reason, Tuesday before school.
I'll go on the tree next week.
Okay, you'll be here Tuesday before school.
How many questions? Quiz.
And tomorrow.
Wait, what is that for Tuesday before?
How many problems is this quiz?
If you, well, you might want to, you got makeup quizzes to take. But if you're absent tomorrow, I need to see you Tuesday before school.
How many problems is this?
I don't know, I haven't decided yet.
Like 3, 5?
Something like that. Okay. Now we've got a hard problem to look at. So I need everybody paying attention. I'm going to find the sine and the cotangent. Reagan, can we start? Okay. We're going to find the sine and the cotangent. And what are we given? We are given that the cosine is 2/3 and the tangent is negative. Now, we've talked about this before. Less than 0 means negative. So you are going to do what you've done for every single problem. You're going to draw a picture. But you have to figure out where to draw the picture. So I want you to put your thinking caps on, because this is not going to be one of those times where you get to cop out and say, math is hard for me, I'm not good at it. I don't care. You can figure this out. I need the cosine to be a positive number, and I need the tangent to be a negative number. Now, I want you to think about what cosine is and what tangent is. If cosine is a positive number, then doesn't it make sense to you that x would be positive? Because what do we know about r? R is always positive. So if this is going to be positive, then x has to be positive. Okay, x has to be positive. But if the tangent is supposed to be negative, what does that tell you about y?
It's negative.
It has to be negative. In which quadrant do you have a negative y and a positive x?
The top left.
Third.
Oh, that's what the X. Oh, is that right?
I don't know, is that right?
No,
That's
it's
right.
third.
It's half a
We
bow tie.
need a positive x and a negative y. Doesn't that happen in quadrant 4?
Yes, ma'am.
The cosine is 2/3. What do you think we need to do next?
Another negative.
Pythagorean theorem. So anybody know what that would be? Can you do the Pythagorean theorem?
2 squared plus b squared.
2 squared plus b squared equals 3 squared. So 4 plus b squared is 9, and b squared is 5. So b is root 5. And I've already got a negative there. Does everybody understand why that needs to be negative?
Yeah.
Now, tell me about the sign. What's the sign of that picture? It's not 3x.
3 over
The sign.
negative root 5 over 3.
Thank you, Jabria. Negative root 5 over 3. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. What's the cotangent?
Opposite of root 5.
It's 2 over negative root 5. It's adjacent over opposite. But you have to rationalize that. So it's 2 root 5 over 5 negative. Negative 2 root 5 over 5. These are hard. Let's turn the page and look at the next one. Dan, I can't read the number at the top there, but I'm going to make one up. I'm going to say the sine is 1/5, and the cosine is negative. Relax, Jabria. We're going to draw a picture, but we need to figure out where to draw it. So we're going to use our logic. Sine is y over r. That's a positive number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which means that y has to be positive. Remember, r is always positive. So if the sine is positive, y has to be positive. The cosine is a negative number. Now wait a minute. If the cosine is negative, remember r is always positive. So x has to be negative. So we're looking at a situation
Negative x
where
positive.
x has to be negative, but y has to be positive.
Positive, it's top left.
That is top left or quadrant 2.
What's up there?
X is negative, y is positive. The sine is 1/5. 1/5. What do I do next?
Pythagorean theorem.
Pythagorean theorem. So
Pythagorean
a
theorem.
squared plus 1 squared is
I
5
can't say
squared.
collaborative, bro, so it's alright.
A squared plus 1 equals 25, a squared equals 24, and a equals the square root of 24.
Say Pythagorean theorem.
I'll let you catch up, and then I want you to tell me about the square root of 24.
Break it down.
Break it down to what? 2, not 2 root 2, 2 root 6. Very good, Michael.
Okay, break it down.
It doesn't break down anymore because 6 doesn't break down. The square root of 24
That's 5 squared.
is that you got 2 times 12, you got 2 times 6, you got 2 times 3. We look for anything we have 2 of. I have 2 2's, and I have a leftover 2 and 3. So out comes the 2, in stays the 2. So what have I got here? Negative 2 root 6. Now, I wanted the tangent and the cosecant.
Lives on Sesame Street.
Okay, what's my tangent?
Negative 2 root 6 over 6.
Very good. No, almost, not quite. It's 1 over negative 2 root 6. Okay, now this is tricky, pay attention. I'm going to get rid of that root 6. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by root 6. Now I don't multiply by the 2, I only multiply by what I need to get rid of, which is the root 6.
So it's gonna be.
These 2 make 6.
It's gonna be negative 12.
So the bottom is negative 12 and the top is root 6. These 2 make 6 times negative 2. That's how I got negative 12. The top, all it has is a 1 times root 6, which is just root 6. What? Cosecant. What's cosecant? Reciprocal of sine. The sine is 1/5, so the cosecant must be 5 over 1. Okay? Now, I poured a ton at you. I want to do just one more quick thing. We're not going to do this whole last problem, but I want you to tell me which quadrant you would draw the picture in. So look at the last problem. It says the cosine is a negative 3/5 and the tangent is positive. Now, if the cosine is negative, the cosine's x over r, that means x has to be negative, right? If the tangent is positive, that's y over x, but boys and girls, you already know x is negative.
Has to be another negative.
So y has to also be negative. Quadrant 3. That picture would be drawn in quadrant 3. Very good problem solving. Okay, Timmy, would you turn it off?
Yeah.
What we need
I'll
to
turn
do
it off.
now
Turn it off. Why is
is
it?
2 things. You have a homework
Tear off
assignment.
production.
It's more
Represent.
problems, just